Are you sick of mediocre series like My Hero Academia or disposable isekai number 12? Today I decided to make this video in case you would like recommendations of some anime that you might have not seen. Granted, not every anime on this list is super underground and are somewhat known in the anime community, but I think they might deserve just a little bit more. I will also rate the anime out of 10 based on how much I recommend it. My ratings will be somewhat of a combination of writing of the show, my personal enjoyment of it, and how much I think it might appeal to a larger audience. Because a lot of these are not popular for a reason, guys, so calm down your raging boners for some of these, okay? First anime on this list is Bungo Stray Dogs. This anime is about a society with superpowers, but unlike in My Hero, in Bungo only 20% of populace has one of these, and everyone, like the main character who gets exposed about their powers, will get isolated from the society. The story follows Atsushi, a young lad who joins the armed detective agency with tiger superpowers that he can't really at the start of the series control, but he gets slightly hang of it later on, but not really all that much. The superpowers here aren't just your typical, oh, this guy shoots lightning, this guy just spits fire. Everyone's powers are more obscure ones with more restrictions. One ability allows you to create anything as long as you write it in your notes, and the object you are creating can only be in the size of these notes. There is also this one ability that allows you to get stronger by absorbing money, so if you are poor you can't really do much at the moment. I can think of few cons about the series. A lot of the characters fall under a lot of generic tropes. The show feels generic a lot of times as well, but as much as we can get sick of generic anime, they are easier to get into for most people. The anime so far is just 3 seasons of 36 episodes in total, with season 4 on the way. I recommend this anime 8.5 out of 10. Next anime on this list is Black Lagoon. If we are talking the coolest anime or just anime that you would recommend to someone who doesn't even watch anime or who is not interested into the mainstream ones, this one is for sure one of those alongside few others. Black Lagoon is a story about this guy who gets kidnapped by this mercenary group called Lagoon Company. They kidnapped our main MC Rock so they could use him as a bargain guy, but his employer just gave up on him and completely abandoned him, and Rock just decided to join his kidnappers instead. Makes sense to me. Black Lagoon is a sort of an episodic adventure because the mini adventures the main crew goes through span only a few episodes, as you see them do a lot of underground and shady business. The only 2 cons I can think of are 1. The manga is constantly on hiatus, so we'll probably never get another season, and 2nd, Black Lagoon is only for cool boys like myself, so you need to be more rough around the edges to enjoy this. This show is filled with a lot of brutal action, although sometimes it's not really all that realistic. I did like this anime, and I think it has a really interesting world as well. I recommend this anime 8 out of 10. The next anime on here is Bakemonogatari. Bakemonogatari is a 13 episode show that's sort of a mafia based story that starts at the end and it goes back in time to tell you how they got there. I don't remember the term for this, but whatever, no one watches my videos to get serious analysis anyway, okay, let's be real. Bakemonogatari has one of the greatest storytellings in an anime that I have seen. It has so many characters that get a ton of spotlight in such a short period of time, and it doesn't even feel forced at all. Talking about the characters in Bakemonogatari, there is no single character who I didn't like at least a little bit. Everything felt like it had its own purpose. It jumps between multiple timelines, 1930s in Chicago, 1711 on a boat. It has great supernatural elements. I don't really want to talk about it that much, to be honest. I just want you to go blindly into it because it is a really good anime. In fact, it's so good that I can't even do a good job selling you to this one. Overall, I recommend this anime 9 out of 10. 91 Days is a slow burner original anime about revenge of mafia's link as well. A dude called Angelo Lagusa joins Vanetti family as an imposter as he tries to remove them from the inside, because as I said, it's a revenge story after all. The show goes through a lot of old school mafia stuff. You get alcohol deals, assassinations, creating relationships and much more. Well, in actuality I don't remember much about 91 Days, so if I lied about some content in it then please don't add me. Just like Bakano, 91 Days has a really nice cast of characters, and in a lot of ways they made 91 Days so fresh compared to a lot of other anime that I have seen. It is only 12 episodes long and I personally highly recommend it. One of the cons this one might have is the slower pacing, so some of you might get slightly bored of this one pretty quickly, or you can just lose interest if you don't really like the characters, because 91 Days is a very character-driven anime. I recommend this anime 8.5 out of 10. Next anime on this list is Mononoke. No, not Princess Mononoke, you weep. Mononoke. Mononoke is an episodic anime about this guy who sells himself as a medicine seller, but in actuality he works as a Mononoke exorcist. He uses a blade to slay the Mononoke, but first he needs to know the form of the Mononoke, its truth and reason in order to do so. Feeling confused yet? Well, so am I, and I have seen the show fully to the end and I think I still don't understand it properly even after all of that. This anime is episodic, meaning the arcs have 2 to 3 episodes each of course, but unlike all of the other episodic anime, it doesn't even have an overarching plot, so when the last story finishes, the anime just ends. That's it just ends. Since this anime is an episodic format with short arcs that are not related to each other at all, it may not have a huge impact on everyone watching this, but I still recommend this anime 9 out of 10. Shinsekai is the next anime on this list, and it's an absolutely amazing story with themes about our society with altogether great mystery. The story is centered around a bunch of kids in a utopian society that has these weird psychic powers. This show is filled with mysteries, questionable gay scenes with other deep themes and great scenes throughout. Shinsekai may have some weak spots sprinkled around here and there. The start might be a bit too slow to some people watching this. A lot of the characters weren't really all that great or likable, but as a full story package, I would say it really stands out for me. I don't really want to go into a deep spoiler territory because a whole lot happens in it, and I want you to get the full experience by yourself. Shinsekai is a great suspense show that I can't recommend enough. I recommend this anime 8 out of 10. I recommend Samurai Champloo as one of the most entertaining anime that I have seen to this day. This anime is about samurais, surprisingly, and the plot by itself isn't very interesting. It's about these two dudes and a 15-year-old with bigger badonkers than an average man's head on their adventure to find a samurai who smells like sunflowers. As I mentioned these two dudes before, both of them are very badass yet completely dumb at the same time, so well, unfortunately they got arrested, but thanks to the power of fanservice, they were saved by Fu, who then requests them to accompany her while she looks for this samurai who smells like sunflowers to repay their debt. Samurai Champloo is an episodic adventure with funny and emotional episodes. Although not every episode or adventure might be as good as some of the others, the fights are great and it has a lot of great character moments. I recommend this anime 8.5 out of 10. The next anime on this list is Drifters. Drifters is easily the most brutal yet entertaining isekai that you can find. Yes, it is an actual isekai because the main dude gets transported to another world, but weirdly enough he doesn't die and there is no truck, so is it truly an isekai? The story follows a samurai who barely escapes death in a clan war before getting pulled into this world full of elves from your average hentai. Facts. He then joins forces with the other drifters who were pulled into this world like a gacha pull from our real world as well into this fantastic one to fight against the Ants. This anime depicts themes of war and brutality pretty well, but it doesn't really have an ending because the manga is now on hiatus and there is not much of the story so far. I can't really recommend this one by a lot because of that, so overall I recommend this anime 7.5 out of 10. Next anime on this list is the Monogatari series featuring Senju Gahara, aka the only anime woman that can step on me. Monogatari is a supernatural paranormal anime, as the internet says, and it is about these oddities who in short are supernatural phenomena that are influenced by humans, as the wiki says. For example, something terrible happens to you, you try to compress your emotions to yourself and boom, you cross a crab on the street and the crab takes 90% of your weight. Obviously you don't want to have only 10% 10% of your weight. Your own clothes will feel heavier than your average weeb's shinsekai content they have consumed in their life if it was all printed on a paper. And well, it's always better to lead a pleasant life than to just try to cope with your problems and overlook them completely. In short, this anime is pretty much just cancel culture the waifu edition. In Monogatari, the dialogue is probably the most prevalent aspect of the show, as they do talk a lot. I think it's great, but a just warning for some of you shonen tards, as you may get bored. I recommend this anime 9 out of 10. And the last anime on this list is Katanagatari, made by the same person that made Monogatari and a few others, so you know it's gonna be pretty awesome. Katanagatari follows a dude that's living on an uninhabited island, and the special thing about him is that he knows a sword fighting style called Kyoto-ryu that has been passed down by generations, a style where one uses their entire body as a weapon. And no, it's not martial arts. If they would call it just martial arts, it wouldn't have been nearly as cool as it is now, okay? Basically, the anime starts off with epic gamer strategist girl Togame who hires Shichika, or main dude, to collect 12 ultra rare swords forged by an epic gamer gacha hermit person, and those swords were stolen by one scammer ninja group. This anime has a lot of life philosophy stuff throughout the whole thing. I recommend this anime 9.5 out of 10. That's it for this video, boys. Tell me in the comments below if I should make another list like this one, recommending random anime or manga perhaps. Don't forget to like, sub and all of this nice other stuff, it always helps the channel, and until next time, see ya later, boys.